sanctioned by the Absolute Beginners League from the road course at Detroit. It's the Global SimRacing Channel's penultimate round coverage of the Season 20 Formula Neagle Championship. The 20th century saw the collapse of 7 great empires: the Mandarin, the German, the Austro-Hungarian, the Ottoman, Japan, the British Empire, and twice in Russia with the Tsarist and Soviet. The 21st century has yet to see its first fallen empire, but the wait may be over soon. Over the course of a 66-race career, nine-time champion Errol Num has never gone more than 2 consecutive races without a win until now. 3 rounds into this season, the Roland Estonian has yet to find victory lane and is 14 markers out of the driver championship point lead. David Burns sits atop those standings, and even though Third Degree was the season 16 champ, he won that crown in a season that did not include Num. Burns has a chance to be the first driver ever to deny Num a championship. Michael Hofladezen, Alex Janssen, and Lee Anderson have all raced near the front all season, with Anderson being the only driver other than Burns to claim a win. Season 5 was the birth of Formula Neagle in its present form, and GSRC has been there for every race. And we can say with informed confidence, Season 20 has been the most competitive season to date. Will Burns stretch his point lead? Will Anderson make it 2 in a row? Will Hofladezen and Johnson pick up their first season victory? Or maybe Num will return to form as the Empire strikes back? Find out now as all the Skippy action from green flag to victory donut streams your way live as it happens right here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Good health, everyone, and welcome to yet another Formula Neagle broadcast way up in the press box to bring you our bird's eye view. Adam Young, along with yours truly, Bill Soups On. Sean Ambrose has director duties with cameras provided by Dougie Beard. For years on the iRacing platform, the bumpiest track award would go to Sebring. That was until this track came onto the iRacing format, and boy, it is a rough one to get around here. Go ahead and buckle up your kidney belt as we take a look at Detroit.
Welcome to the Belle Isle Street Circuit. Situated in a beautiful park on Belle Isle itself, it rests in the Detroit River, sandwiched between the Motor City and Canada. With it being in the far north of the Midwestern United States, as you'd expect, harsh winters make this a bone-jarringly bumpy track. It's most known for IndyCar's yearly visit, but has also seen IMSA hold rounds here lately. The 14 narrow corners only add up to a mere 2.3 miles in length, but it can tend to feel like a lot more just from the sheer stress of keeping your car out of the walls. Runoff is non-existent in the majority of corners, so mistakes tend to be punished with race-ending damage. The dangers include the tight and twisty fountain section with its rapid-fire set of bends, and the frightening turns 12 and 13, which end the lap with 2 swift kinks. However, the most notorious spot on the track is the exit of Turn 2, made famous by collecting the Corvette pace car into its hungry walls one year. The first 2 turns are a quick chicane, so the extreme change of direction, plus the rise in the track as it crosses over a creek, means grip and balance can disappear in an instant. While the setup of the car can sometimes help lessen the annoyance of the bumps a little, what this place all comes down to is driver skill and daring. Precision will pay off with the close proximity of the barriers. While it isn't a stroll in the park for drivers, fans get to enjoy the beauty of the scenery, all while watching some of the most thrilling racing an American street course has to offer.
And there's a look at Belle Isle here in Detroit. All right, Adam Young, I'm going to bring you back in here to talk a little bit about the track specifics here.
Yeah, of course, here at Belle Isle, it's a tough one. We've already talked about how tough it is. You don't hit nothing soft here. Bumps will throw you into walls, and there's not a lot of runoff in a lot of places. There are some places, though, where at least it's a little wider That helps, of course, over this 14 turn, 2.35 mile, 3.78 kilometer layout. It is a challenging one for sure, both here in iRacing and in real life, with all the series that have raced here, from IndyCar to the old kart cars to, touring events, Trans Am. Just a lot has run here over the years, and it's always a challenge for all those guys on both man and machine. Because Soup, you hit the analogy on the head when you compared this place to Sebring a little while ago.
It is a bumpy one, but it's in tight confines. It's, Adam, we have Montreal, which is allegedly a road course, and of course, I guess Bathurst is one too. But in my mind, other than Long Beach, which they never finished, this is the true road course on the iRacing platform.
It is. This is the one that's it's the closest that we've got.
Yeah,
Yeah, Bathurst is ran on public roads, but it's not like city roads where this is, and you get kind of the effect of being on a city road with the bumps in the concrete and all that
yep.
good stuff that goes along with it. I mean, it can be tough, but you're right. Maybe we can start that here today again. Campaign hashtag finish Long Beach or something like that too. But I'm just watching everybody tear up the cars here today. This is gonna be a crazy race where you're gonna have to be able to maintain your equipment, because it is a true street circuit.
Let's look at the driver standings now. We talked about it in the opening, so not a lot to say. You see David Burns with that 8-point lead over Hofladezen. Now look at this. Hofladezen, Num, Anderson, and Janssen. These guys, every race this season, they have been racing up front. Pit stops has kind of hurt some of these guys, especially Janssen. He doesn't seem to quite have that figured out yet, but he did get better last time. But really, it's been a flip of the coin, flip, 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 if you want to count all of them, who's going to get the win. Burns has 2. Anderson has 1. Hofladezen sits in 3rd. Num has the 9 championships. And of course, Janssen also has a championship, but he did that again in a season where Num was not racing. Let's go ahead. There is a team championship to look at as well. In past seasons, the team championship was more prestigious. Not so much this season, as a lot of the drivers have decided to race independently. 2 stupid dogs have been around forever. That is Vincent Bream and David Burns. They sit atop. They look comfortable with their Am Racing team behind them. You can see the rest as they fall through. I would imagine the 2 stupid dogs, with only 2 races to go, are probably poised to win yet another championship. We're always picking up new viewers here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Even though the Absolute Beginner League has been around a long time, we probably have a few people tuning in for the first time. Adam, what's this all about?
All right, so Absolute Beginners League is, well, it has transformed into being short seasons. We only run in 5 races here every other week. There's a companion series that runs on the other alternating week that isn't broadcast. It's pretty cool. Tony Hayes Cup. This is part of the reason why I love the ABL. We're running a 40-minute race here, open setups. These guys have been tweaking on these things here for the last hour or so, and of course some practice sessions throughout the weeks. But they are limited on fuel, 51% fuel, which definitely has made things a little bit interesting at times. When will somebody come in? Won't they come in? Instant cap is also at 17, but Belle Isle being one of those tracks that if you're up to 17 incidents, you probably don't have much of a car left at all. I mean, I don't see anybody hit 17 incidents here for today and actually surviving, but that's me.
Yeah, it is hard to pick up distance here because you're so close to the walls. I want to talk about one driver that we didn't mention the points. Car number 123, Sebastian Schultz. Now, he's a rookie, and he actually wasn't here at the beginning of the season. He's come on a couple races into the season, but he has been really quick. He's 6th and fastest right now in qualifying. And I think this is another driver. Once he gets the hang of what this series is all about, look for him to thread. Let's look at car number 58. We have another, was in my book, a first timer. That's Christian Perez. Don't see him out on the track right now, but he sits 4th in qualifying right now.
Yeah, I'm just watching more, and we bring up Schultz, and he gets unseated for that second position by Eero Num here just a moment ago. But Schultz is a guy that's he's gonna be contending for championships here if he sticks with this series, particularly in the next season or 2. And of course, we got the finale here in 2 weeks, and then it'll be a little while off, and then these guys will pick it back up again sometime this summer for it. So I'll be looking for Sebastian Schultz. I'm going to pick him already to be up front next season, contending with guys like David Burns on your screen right now and Eero Num.
Adam, a lot of times we put these little skippies on big tracks where with sweeping corners, and it turns into a Talladega draft type thing. What's your expectation here at Detroit? You know, the draft always plays an effect with the Skippy, but maybe this track might make it a little tougher.
Yeah, you're not going to have as much of a run. And I harp on the draft a lot. And this is probably going to be the one track running this season where it's like the draft. I mean, ooh, that was a hard hit right there, but I didn't get a chance to see who that was. But that was something that I'm looking at seeing probably a little bit here. But the front straightaway is going to be probably the one place you're going to be able to try to have at least a little bit of a draft and take advantage of it. But it's not going to be much. And the key for today is going to be survival, first and foremost. And you got to hit your marks too. It's a lot of technical corners, and you don't have a lot of room to make mistakes.
And again, I hate to harp on this aspect of the race so often, but again, we have new viewers. Fuel consumption is always a factor in these races. Maybe not best to be out front.
No, you know, and that kind of goes back to what we were talking about with the draft. I mean, that might be as less of a factor as what we've seen in the past, you know, at least at other racetracks. So maybe that kind of plays out a little bit, making things a little bit more even, but it's definitely been a game as far as it varies from track to track, and we don't know exactly how it's going to pan out here today. But when is it advantageous to come in early or come in late? And we've seen it work both ways, depending on where we're at.
40 minutes of racing and a lap time of only 1:44, kind of a short lap compared to some of the other tracks we go to. Add that into the new rule of the fast repair that kind of spreads the track out. Lap traffic could be a big issue for the leaders.
Oh, it will be an issue for the leader by the end of this thing. I guarantee you it will be an issue. By the time we get down, maybe even before the first round of pit stops, we might be seeing the lap cars being mixing up here with the lead lap cars. And that's another thing that you bring up with the fast repair is it's also been interesting to see who takes the fast repair and who just calls it a day. And so we'll see if maybe because of Belle Isle being what it is, if more people just say, I'm going to just, hang it up for the day. Or those who actually take advantage of it and try to continue on and get whatever positions they can.
And this is going to be a one-stop race. And so the fast repair, if you have an accident early and you need to go ahead and come in and take 2 stops, you pretty much ruined your race. But in theory, Adam, if you time your mistake somewhere around pit entrance, and in your pit window, you can use a fast repair and maybe still win this thing.
Oh yeah, you really can if things happen for you at the right place. By the way, on your screen right there, you saw David Burns set the fastest lap of the qualifying so far, and then Euro Numb was right behind him and just obliterated his time by almost 0.2 of a second. So Euro Numb on the pole of this thing here so far.
Being up front at this track probably very important. Numb would either like to lead or he'll sit farther back and save fuel. It'll be interesting to see how he plays it right now. A lot of people getting in their runs. 31 drivers have put in time. There are 3 drivers yet to put times in. Hopefully they will. Scott Angelo, Anton Bergstrom, and Mikael Hilliard.
Yeah, looking at Lee Anderson now has jumped up to 2nd place. Burns slid to 3rd and Schultz to 4th.
Anderson's been around for a couple seasons, has really started to get the hang of it recently. Picked up his 2nd career win last time out. Sitting well in the points now in that familiar frosted blue car. Yeah, we're looking at, is that the 16 we're looking at there? Is that Neil Stevenson?
Let's see if he can improve on his time. Previously ran a 45. Letting that back in, just hang out there. And he says, I'm good.
Still sitting with the same 31 drivers as qualifying is just about done.
Yeah, there's no cars on the track. I think we go to the grid.
Yeah, with a big field and a standing start, let's make sure we get our GSRC commentator bonus for getting through all the drivers before they go green. On the pole, it is 9-time champion Errol Numb coming off a win. Last time is Lee Anderson. He'll flank him. David Burns, another champion, sits inside of row 2 with rookie Sebastian Schultz outside of him in 4th. Mikael Hofladezen and Christian Kabanka. Good start for Christian, up into 6th. Alex Johnson, a former champion, in 7th. Yus Young, very exciting driver, in 8th. 9th and 10th, Vincent Breen, the veteran Too Stupid Dog driver, and Christian Perez in 10th. Adam?
Yeah, going back to the next group here, in 11th position is the first 10 points. Show back up. There they are. Ludwig Sauer in 11th position in row 6. Eric Blix, 12th. Christopher Giros. Andre Salander will be starting in row 7. Row 8's can go Simon Witten and Eric Lukel. Row 9's Luis Lujan and Elise Spotek. And then Hocek Pozek will be in 19th. Alongside him will be Josh Brain.
Hidden Blackjack is Henrik Kamara, another former champion. Bambi, Neil Bamber in the double duck spot. Frederick Neptune, the Trident in 23rd with Timothy Nylander outside of him. Neil Stevenson, we saw him in qualifying in 25th. 26th, Christopher Crook. Thomas Kick, the Strudelmacher, in 27th inside of Neil Smet. Matt Tempest in the 29th spot. In 30th, it's Andy Saunders. Adam, I'll let you finish out the straight.
Yeah, go ahead and take a look at the last few rows here. Row 16, Scott Dawkins and Scott Angelo. Anton Bergstrom and then Michael Hilliard will be 32nd, 33rd, and 34th. They didn't set times, but they are in the session and are expected to start.
The flags pole has a waving flag atop it, a little bit of breeze here, but the weather looks nice for racing. We'll bring that up to you a little bit in a minute. Aeronum sitting on the pole. We're waiting for everybody to take their spot. Round number 4 of 5, the penultimate race here on the Global SimRacing Channel. This series, of course, sanctioned by the Beginner League, Formula Neagle. We've been here. Aeronum out in front in his familiar number 78. He's being chased in the frosted purple car of Lee Anderson. Third degree Burns in 3rd position. The Sebastian Schultz, the rookie, right behind Burns on his tail, looking to maybe pick up a position with Mikael Hofladezen looking to move up as well. The battle is for 3rd right now, with Schultz taking a look on the inside. Here comes Hofladezen, the most aggressive driver on lap 1 you'll ever want to see. He goes around Schultz now. He is side by side with Burns, trying to get up to 3rd. They get that sorted out. It looked fairly clean, I think, Adam.
Yeah, going back and looking here and see if I can find anything. And I think just a few minor things in the back, but nothing we need to go back and take a look at here at this point. Greg racing at the front, although I am looking at 10th position. Christian Perez, he just got slid out, and I think it took his way out with him back there.
Yeah, Perez got right. He's coming out.
That was Schultz that got taken out right there. Sebastian Schultz is going to be out of this race, or at least out of contention.
Schultz lost a lot of momentum when they went 3 wide through that corner. He actually made a little bit of contact. We'll come back and review the first lap in a minute. A little bit of contact with David Burns. Burns' left rear to Schultz's right front, and that might have slowed Schultz down, and that put him back in it, and he got caught up in it. Up front, it is Aeronum opening up a half-second lead now with Lee Anderson chasing.
And just got the idea, the power of Aeronum, he's been able to pull away. I tell you who really liked that first lap. That was going to be Lee Anderson, watching Burns go at it with Mikael Hofladezen in his rear view. That really helped open it up a little bit for him to get kind of in a position where he can get comfortable before he has to fight. And he's hanging right with Aeronum here at this point.
This kind of technical track plays to Num's strength. He's not caught up in the draft so much. Scott Dawkins has problems as he makes contact with another driver, another slow driver out there, Scott Angelo. They were farther back in the field. Attrition is going to be big here. We're going to lose drivers, and we're going to be using our fast repair. That's one of the things that's different, Adam. We talked about it. In the old days, that would thin the herd. Not so much now.
I know it, and that goes back to the decision. Will you use your fast repair, or will you not? I've seen a lot of guys in the back decide to use it, try to take what they can.
Look at the car that's 5th in line. Let's give a tip of the hat to Christian Kabanka, the California driver. We've talked about him over the season. Little by little, he continues to improve, and here he is racing on the tail of that lead draft, racing in 5th position, right behind Hofladezen. A mistake up front. That was Lee Anderson in 2nd.
Oh, he hit that curb on the inside, and then where that concrete wall juts out just a little bit, he hit it, he grabbed him, and he is going to be and another guy that was going to be out of contention here for today. So already several main contenders taken out very early. Hey, we have to add Henrik Kamara to the list. Henrik's been a name that we've talked about the last, past probably 7-8 seasons. He is going to be out of this thing now too as well.
The Scandinavian driver. Now, with the elimination of Anderson, who was racing in second, what that does, if you look at that gap now, that's the stepping stone that Burns was hoping to have to the leader. Now that gap, which was a half a second from Numb to Anderson, is now over a second from Numb to Burns. Remember, Numb is your pole sitter. He has the pace to run away.
Yeah, we saw it in practice and we saw it in qualifying. That's exactly it. And that's what he's probably going to do here at this point. Usually at some of the drafting tracks, Euro Numb hangs back, saves a little bit of fuel, and then does this early peel, late reveal. That may not be the case here for today. That might not be the strategy that Euro Numb plays. Just simply the fact I'm expecting him to run away.
Okay, look at the side-by-side battle. On the outside, that is Christian Perez. Down underneath that is Christopher Garrett. Two Christophers going at it. They decide to do it in reverse alphabetical order, with Perez now ahead of Garros. They are chasing Andre Solander, sitting in 10th. Solander in that fluorescent blue and yellow car as he gets it close to the wall.
Not a lot of margin for error, as you can see looking out the rear wing from Andre Solander. That is a tight place to try to do that side by side. Glad they kind of got that sorted out.
That fourth car in line, that is Eric Lukl, a veteran. This is a great battle, 4-car battle for 10th.
Oh, I was thinking that somebody disappeared a minute ago, Soup. It was Mikhail Hoffendays, and he has dropped out.
The Strudelmeister, Thomas Kick with an issue. Boy, there has been a lot of problems going on out there.
Oh, he found himself in a little bit of a mess right there.
Frederick Neptune involved in it, in one issue. We can find that one with Lujan as well. A lot of stuff going on behind. So, Adam, let's follow up what you're saying. Hoffendays, as far as you can tell, he didn't have an incident. He just went away.
He looked like it was possibly a connection issue there, Soup.
Oh, that's a tough one. So the big names up in front that are missing. Anderson and Hoffendays are gone. Go, Adam.
Yeah, and I was getting ready to say, while we were watching that, Christian Kabanga, and I was wanting to talk about him a little bit before we kind of started the spate of incidents right there, but he just set the fastest lap of the race so far. You talk about a technical track playing into Euro Numb's hands. Christian Kabanga has been one of those guys that he sometimes has some really good races, and the technical tracks are usually where he has his really good races. He's going to be another contender out there for today. You can see him catching that pack of Burns and Numb.
If you look at the tower, you'll be a little bit confused. You can see 3 names that were ahead of Numb. That because they took a tow and they were scored ahead. Our leader is still Aero Numb, even though iRacing is scoring him in 4th place right now. That'll fix as soon as he crosses the finish line. He's got himself a 1-second lead on Burns. 3rd degree, doing a good job of hanging on. And with all the attrition going on, Christian Kabanga now sitting in 3rd spot. One of the best races we've seen from him.
Yeah, like I was mentioning, he's going to be a contender, I think, here before this thing's said and done. Fastest driver out there right now. In fact, that last time by Soup, he was 0.4 of a second faster than Euro Numb. And then, hey, you can't dismiss the multicolored car of Joost Jonk back there. He's being able to tag onto the back here of this little pack for the leaders as well. I mean, he hasn't really lost a lot of ground.
And remember, there is a pit stop. In theory, he could sharp fill, maybe get onto the back of Kabanga. Maybe not have enough fuel to finish on his own, but if he can save it, he might be able to do there. You see that yellow car. We're going to go back to the driver in 10th position now. This battle, this is Solander. There's Perez now in 9th. This is kind of slowing down a little bit. This was a lot hotter a bit. They've separated. The real battle, Director, can we go up to 6th? Car number 25, Vincent Breen. He is under attack from Ludwig Sauer and Eric Blix. Look at those names. Adam, we've seen these guys race a lot. This is a good performance from them, well up the order.
Yeah, you know, they've been able to take advantage of a little bit of people's misfortunes in front of them, but they've also been consistent as we went through qualifying and practice as well. So they've definitely earned their spot to be up here at this point, and now they're going to have to fight to stay up here, and they're definitely going to have to fight for the positions as well and not have an incident themselves.
Let's look at Alex Johnson. That's just one car ahead, car number 96. He's a former champion. I think he might have just slid the car into the wall. Let's take a look at this. He has been really off pace.
Ooh, yeah, I just watched that. He slapped it pretty good. As you saw, David Burns set the fastest lap of the race. The suspension bounced a little bit. Oh, right there. That's a hard hit. So maybe he got lucky.
Okay, we talked about lap traffic. Let's go to 28th position, car number 97. This is Simon Whidden. He's in a battle with Eric Lukel. These guys are in 28th to 29th. Lukel was racing a little farther up, I believe. Something might have happened. Lukel now making the move. What's going to happen? The leader has got through these guys, and now these other guys are going to come through. We'll check back in on those guys when maybe Vincent Bream and Sauer get up there. Jumps you around a lot, but there's a lot of action on the track.
Yeah, we're right before we went to that replay, Herbie mentioned that David Burns set the fastest lap of the race so far. He's been able to get there. Christian Kabankia has kind of fallen off just a touch, but not a whole lot. I mean, he's still definitely within drafting range there. And Jos Junk, though, I think out of the top 5, I think he's the one that's been having the most trouble with the lap traffic and catching him in bad places. He's kind of fallen off that pack a little bit.
That's the case, but indeed having trouble knifing his way through. You said it, Adam. The front 3 remain close enough that it's still anybody's race. Numb and Burns. Remember, Burns sits atop the point standings. Numb has got to knock off a few. There are bonus points out here for most laps led and on pole. So Numb already picks one up, getting the pole position. Bonus points also for leading a lap. So Numb would like to shut everybody out if he could.
Ooh, man. These guys just keep getting faster and faster. Christian Kabankia, once again, with the fastest lap of the race so far. And he was a full, I believe, 0.2 of a second faster than Burns and Euro Numb. And they've got a little while here before they're going to catch lap traffic again with Elise Vocek and Anton Bergstrom.
Let's go to Janssen. Car number 96. He just lost it again right in front of Vincent Bream. We'll take a look at Janssen, then get an onboard from Bream, who had the best look at it. Bream is car number 25. Janssen, a former champion, just doesn't have this down today. This one, I think, hurt. And we ride on board. Now we got the wide angle. This will give you a good idea of what this looks like. If we can go on Janssen.
I think this is after his slide here. There we go. Yeah. Boom. And once again, it doesn't seem like he has significant damage.
Boy, he is really working the damage model here on these skippies. Well, he banged that side once. Maybe he was trying to straighten it out without.
Oh, they really just had to split. That entire pack just had to split. Anton Bergstrom, must have had a major problem. That got hairy for all those guys.
Bergstrom racing in 29th. Yeah, he is well off the pace. Andre Salander, who we watched, just got around him right now. The action is up here in 6th position. That kind of lavender car, I'm guessing at the color, that's Sauer. Right on his tail, on him tighter than a fat man in a scuba suit, is Eric Blix. My goodness. And Janssen, who continues to not surrender. Casper continues to race hard behind these guys. Look at Janssen diving in deeper than Buddha's belly button. He's going to get that pass made as he goes around Blixt. Talk about never say die. The Swede with speed, Alex Janssen, showing what he can do. You can see the tower, not much going on up front.
And I'm amazed out of all these guys that Christian Perez has been able to hang on as well as he has with that rear wing damage. And Janssen, woohoo, Janssen had to really stick that rear end out there. He almost Lee Anderson himself right there.
Alex is putting on a show. Of course, who knows how the car is handling. We're on board. When he straightens it out, let's see if he has to crank the wheel. It looks like the wheel's pretty straight.
Yeah, I'm watching him, and like, aside from a little bit of rear wing damage, like, and not even a lot, just looks a little tweaked. Like, that car, despite having 2 solid hits, seems like it's driving pretty good right now.
He was in 5th position. He races in 6th. He's going to look to get this back on Ludwig Sauer right now. Eric Blix behind him. What's that spot? That Blix might have got into the gearbox. That slows him down. And now they make contact with Christian Perez.
Perez was having a great run. You know, Perez had that gap. He took it and hit that curb, and I think that swung him out a little bit more than what he planned, but even then at the same time, he kind of lower car came down just a little bit, and it was just meet in the middle, and the next thing you know, Christian's on his lid.
All right. So now it settles down a bit. So we check our timing and scoring. Back up front, it is still Numb. Now, Numb has worked his way through some traffic. Burns has had a little more trouble getting through there. The gap has opened up to 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, but that gap between Burns and Kabenka has really shrunk. Kabenka's right there.
And with the championship so tight, this pass, when you look back at the end of the season, Adam, and you and I are reviewing how Burns won or lost the championship, it could all come down to this position right here. If I only could have stayed ahead of Kabenka, there's only one more race to go. Points are going to be really important. Christian not in the championship hunt, but nevertheless wants to get around Burns. Clear track ahead for the leader. Scott Angelo is about 20 car lengths up. It'll be a while until Numb gets there.
Here's the move. Kabenka's going to do it. And Burns is going to let him have it and try to fight him back here later. A wise choice right there to not really try to fight that position. Now, you got that tire barrier right on the outside of that curve. You try to go through there side by side, you could end both y'all's days. So, smart move there by Burns.
We're supposed to say impartial, and indeed we try to call them straight, but in my heart, I always love first-time winners. Boy, it would be nice to see Kabenka get a win. Especially since he races out of my home state here.
And all he really just has to do is put together a good couple of solid laps, and he can probably get back to up to Euro Numb. He's shown that he has the pace.
Traffic is laid out pretty well for Numb right now. He continues to have clear track. Scott Angelo in front of him. Nobody really up front. No pit stops to talk about yet of any significance. We are 23 minutes into this.
I've got to say this, Soup, and you're right. I like seeing first-time winners, too. Christian, if you're listening, don't see red right now, buddy. Just run your line, run your laps. It seems like you're pushing it a touch. We don't want to see you end up in the wall.
Lap traffic certainly going to be a factor later. Anything could happen to the leader, no matter how far ahead he is. A driver I think we should check in on. We've been kind of remiss not to talk about him. 5th position, car number 25, Vincent Bream, the teammate to Burns, racing all alone in 5th right now. He's got himself about a second over Alex Janssen. Janssen was in 5th before he started all of his escapades with the wall, so he only has one spot to go to get up to Burns, or to get up to Bream, and he'll be back where he was before it all started to happen.
Kabenka and Burns now swapping the positions. It's allowed Euro to kind of open that up a little bit. Ooh, they're grabbing a little bit of grass there from Vincent.
We're gonna look here at Sauer in this battle. Ahead of Blixt, right behind Janssen. Sauer, a veteran. They seem to race comfortably. Director, I'd like to leave this one and just give a little love to car number 33 in 14th position. He's our hard charger, Matt Tempest. Put in a qualifying time, started in 29th, now in 14th. He's alone, nobody really to race with. But we like to pay tribute when it is earned. Nice job, Matt. Check back in on you when you got somebody to race with. It's a good-looking paint scheme on that car. That's always, paint scheme's always good for a few tenths of a second.
Euro Numb once again setting the fastest lap of the race so far.
Let's look in on second position. This is David Burns. Burns has got back around Kabanka, and now he works up on Angelo. Angelo is a lap car. And there goes Kabanka through there as well. The gap has stretched now to 3 seconds up to the leader.
Yeah, while they've been swapping the position, Euro Numb has stretched out a couple of tenths at a time to get up to that almost 3 seconds. It's going to take some effort now for them to be able to catch up to him. And you still have those pit stops where really anything can happen. We've seen both good and bad out of those. So that's going to be interesting. And now that we're hitting halfway of the race right now, those pit stops could come at any time.
In case you're interested, the points difference here in the Formula Neagle between first and second, only 3. So every position important. And again, those bonus points. Numb is trying to look for a perfect score if he can lead the most laps beyond pole.
Which really, I think if at this point, when he leads this next lap, I think that'll seal that bonus point for him.
Got it. Again, clear traffic for Numb. The battle is for second. Things pretty much settling down everywhere. Director, let's go to car number 63. Check in on Christopher Crook. He's back in 18th position. Under attack from the Triton, Frederick Neptune, a fan favorite. Racing in car number 666. The yellow car is Crook, Scandinavian driver, as is Neptune. These guys race next to the last cars on the lead lap. Louis Lujan in 20th, the last car on the lead lap. He has them in sight. And it'll be a while until Aero Numb gets to these guys. It's a good 1,000. Oh my goodness.
Man, I don't think Crook was necessarily expecting Neptune to make that move, and when he did, I think it kind of caught him off guard. Now they were able to stay off each other, but Neptune definitely wants that position.
Keep this in mind if these guys separate when the leaders get there, perhaps when the pit window. Otherwise, that's something that, boy, Neptune trying to make this pass, something that our leaders will have to deal with. I've talked about it before. Sometimes the best racing is from the guys that are not up front because they don't quite have it figured out, Adam. They leave a little bit on the track for their competitors to make a run at. Here comes the Triton. But he's going to wait. Boy, patience from Neptune.
And that's veteran patience right there. I mean, Frederick is one of those guys. He's been around about as long as I can remember, and he knows when to try to make a move and when not to.
Well, if they keep horsing around like they're doing, I know we're spending a lot of time back here watching this battle for 18th, but it's a good one. If they keep slow, Lujan is going to be gaining up on him. Okay. Burns has come in for a pit stop.
Brem, Janssen, they're back there too, making their stops.
Kabanka stays out. Burns looks to do it like a veteran. Comes in, hits his spot. Now, will he cycle out behind traffic? Oh, it looks good for third degree. He's going to come out with clear track ahead of him. He's got former champion Neil Bamber up in 6th. Bambers has decent pace. I don't think Burns is going to be held up by that.
Now, if previous experience and technical tracks here since the change of tire model and everything else, and the fact that these guys are probably taking tires, is that Christian Quebec probably is going to want to come in here this time by to not lose too much time to David Burns.
If you're new to watching Formula Neagle, you got to be thinking, well, Errol Num, his pace is not good. He's burning too much fuel. You'd be wrong. He has magic in his feet. Somehow he is able to go fast and still, Adam, get good fuel mileage.
Yeah, I'd like to have a little bit of his know-how on that one, because I'm terrible at saving gas. I'm just terrible.
This is silly. I'm going to go back to 18th position. This battle with Neptune and Crook. Neptune has got it now. And Num makes his pit stop. So we will pull away from
as well
to go ahead and pick up. I'd like to pick up Burns if we can. I don't think Num has any jeopardy of losing that spot. The question is, where will Burns pull out, Kabaka cycle out in relationship to Burns?
And then Kabaki just went ahead, just hit his marks perfectly.
Burns out of the final corner, heading towards the start-finish line. Num sits.
Oh, much longer stop. Kabaki just now pulling away.
This is going to be close. There goes Burns. He's by. Num is out. Burns in second, and Kabaka down in third, at least in the order of those guys. That's not how they race on the track, as a few drivers have stayed out. Speaking of the last driver to come in, Ludwig Sauer. And we'll stay on, Sauer, when he comes out, we'll see how he comes out in relationship to some of the guys he was racing with. Maybe Solander might be somebody that he might want to cycle out from. Sauer should be coming in this time. Andre Solander, car number 5, racing in 8th position. That'll be close on pit exit. Yunk has made his stop. He's 4th of all the cars that have pitted, right where he's supposed to be. Janssen in the pit window was able to jump Bream. Janssen now 6th overall. It'll be 5th when Sauer makes that stop.
Well, once Sauer comes in, I've got to say that it looks like the clear winner as far as pit stops and being on pit road is, Euronum had to squeeze there. Oh, David Burns. We need to go to hit. David Burns just got slowed up big time. I was just getting ready to say that he was going to be the clear winner in the pit stop cycle because he caught right back up to Euronum and it got involved with 2 lap cars right there.
The cars in front of it was Michael Hilliard and Simon Whidden. They were trying to get it figured out. Whidden was in 21st position. Hilliard was struggling. In fact, I think Hilliard may have run out of fuel. Can we look at car number 54?
Yeah, he was way, way, way off the pace, right in front of David Burns.
Not sure if Hilliard has actually made his stop or not, but he's kind of coasting into pit lane. Yeah. Okay, Sauer has made his stop. He is in and out. And look at this. He has come out ahead of Alex Janssen. So there's Sauer. I'm going to call that lavender if I got that wrong. Director, what do you think? Lavender? Give me a guess on that one. Blue. All right. All right. Wouldn't be an absolute beginner race unless Soup got the colors wrong. So Ludwig Sauer in the light blue car being chased now by Janssen. Boy, Alex Janssen has really had to work hard for a 5th position. Put it in the wall twice and passed a few guys. No matter how hard he tries, he seems to always be battling for 5th.
But hey, at least he's battling for 5th compared to where he could be. I mean, especially with as hard as he hit the wall twice.
Indeed. We're looking at that battle with Crook and Neptune. Crook is in pit lane right now. Let's look at Neptune, car number 666. He's coming out of pit lane. This has been fun to follow. There goes Neptune. And Crook rolls, so it looks like the pit window broke that one up. You gotta love Formula Neagle, where the action is everywhere. You can find a good storyline anywhere. A battle here for the last cars on the lead lap between Neptune and Crook. In fact, the story gets even more intense, Adam, as here comes Aeronum.
Yeah, he's gonna slice and dice and break those guys up here a little bit, by quite a bit actually. So Euronum now putting Crook lap down. If hopefully that David Burns can use this to his advantage and maybe try to catch up a little bit to Euronum and use what little bit of drafting he can here off Crook. But then he also has to catch Crook at the right place to be able to get around him cleanly.
Now, Aeronum has raced for Bushfink Racing for as long as I can remember, has raced in the number 78 for as long as I can remember. For a time, his teammate was Frederick Neptune. They were both teamed up for Bushfink Racing when Bushfink was a power here in Absolute Beginner League. In fact, they used to divide their cars up by color. I believe Num always raced Bushfink Racing pink. He's a solo driver now.
Of course,
Let's
Euro
go
had
back
actually.
to let's look at 32. This is Kabonka. Let's see how Kabonka deals with Christopher Crook. Oh, look at that!
Crook let Burns by a minute ago. Now he's letting Kabonka by, and he'll probably gonna let Yost Junk by here in just a little bit as well.
And think about what that means, what he has to do mentally with that. Crook was in that battle for the whole race with Neptune. And he's got to kind of just say, all right, that battle doesn't matter. I'm just going to forget about that and stay out of the way of the leader. That is some polite racing. Good job, Christopher Crook. Let's ride on board with the season 15 champion, Alex Johnson, as he runs down another champion, Ludwig Sauer. We don't cover it this season as they're not keeping the points up, but he would win the F2 championship a lot, Ludwig Sauer. Adam, we talked about it a lot. I'm not sure Ludwig Sauer, if they were keeping track of the F2, would really qualify. He's getting awfully good. Sauer, they're coming up against a battle here for 21st, right ahead of them. This is Lukel and Garros. More guys that are F2ers. This will be fun. Let's stay on Sauer, especially see how this relates when Janssen gets in there, because Sauer does not want to take too much time with Lukel and Garros as they battle for the blackjack position. We've been jumping you around a lot. Sometimes it's good just to sit and watch.
And I'm okay with that.
Things are settling down here, yeah.
Another retiree was Scott Dawkins. He's been involved in a number of incidents today. He's decided to go ahead and call it.
Okay, Sauer is there now. Expect Johnson to start running down Sauer. Johnson, the fourth car in line. This is a good camera shot. Look at that, another driver getting out of the way. Christopher Garros pulls over, lets those guys go by. So what we thought might be something to watch out for, and again, look what Garros did. He sacrificed that battle with Lukel. They were in a battle for 21st. That's no longer there now as he's fallen well back. To be honest with you, Adam, I'm a back marker. That's a little more polite than even I would be. I think I would have stayed up there and worked a little harder. Good guy.
It depends on the day.
Yeah, okay. So now Eric Lukel's thinking, how can I let these guys by without getting back into the clutches of Garros? Lukel with some pretty good pace, though. It's taken a long time for Sauer to get there. And that's allowed Johnson to get, about 4 or 5 car lengths back. Here comes Johnson again. He has been the most exciting driver. He's been fun to watch. Boy, he really works that car, too. You can see the car squiggle when he takes it through the corners. The new Skippy model, Adam, came out, I don't know, a few builds ago, has really made this car fun to watch. You can really get the car sideways and still keep a good lap time.
Yeah, you almost have to get the car sideways to get a good lap time in some corners. And it is very much a sideways driving machine nowadays on those narrow tires. But it's been fun. I mean, a lot of the guys that drive it love how the new tire model, well, I shouldn't say new anymore, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean. They loved the tire model when it came out, made it more of a challenge, but a challenge in a good way. Like, it didn't really increase the difficulty. Oh, watch Alex Johnson. I think he tapped the wall again. But so that it made it more of a challenge to drive, but in a good way, and it made it a lot more enjoyable. Not as benign, I think is the best way to put how it used to drive.
Got to give a tip of the hat to Lukel. We've been on this one because I really thought that Sawyer would run him down, but that's not the case. Lukel doing a good job of staying ahead of these guys to the point where we may have to leave this one because it didn't heat up like I thought it was going to. Let's check in on this battle. Let's go to 9th position, car number 28. Wojciech Podacek, we haven't seen him in a battle with another champion, Neil Bamber. Good to see Bamber out there. Bambi with a run. Let's see if he's going to put it in there.
And we'll see if he gets this run, and then we might need to go to 3rd. Yeah, go to 3rd. Go to 3rd here.
That didn't happen. Let's go there.
It's Joost Junk. He's going to make a move on Christian Kabenkia.
Wow.
Christian just had a few bad laps as far as lap traffic, and then just couldn't get it put back together for a lap or two, and fell back into the clutches of Joost Junk.
You know, we've kind of been keeping our eye on Junk, and that beautifully painted yellow and blue car makes it easy to spot on the screen. Looking for that podium spot. Good race from Junk. Good news for Kabanka, no traffic ahead of him. The bad news for him is, man, he is 4 seconds now behind Burns. The front 3 spots, well, the front 2 spots seem to be pretty much cemented in. The question will be is Junk can get Kabanka, and my gut tells me that yellow car, number 13, is going to be ahead of him here pretty soon.
Yeah, I think at this point all it's going to take is one slip up. In fact, Junk is going to go ahead and try to make a move right here. Is he going to be able to dive it in deeper? And Christian's still going to have the inside here. Has to give it up. Can you do it over under? Does not have the run.
You can see that defensive line that Kabanka took going into that 90-degree right-hander. Here comes Junk again. This time he'll have the preferred position. They're going to be able, that couldn't get to the apex was Kabanka, but the outside line gives them a little more momentum. Now the right-hander. And Christian fends off the attack one more time. This is a good battle.
This might be one of the better battles here all day. With the podium spot on the line at Belle Isle with the clock ticking down. Here comes Junk once again. He's great at getting runs here on the straightaway. He just needs one good solid run out of one of these 90s.
Don't need to go there, but Sauer and Janssen did get around the lapped car. Janssen's car is really struggling right now. He hopes to kind of limp it home what he can. Let's keep an eye on this battle. This is the good one. Now, out of this corner number 13, this is a good shot for a run. He's a little too far back as they go across the finish line. They're going to be seeing, not going to get the white flag this time. Look at the run now. Let's see if he forces it in there. Interesting enough, corner number 1 doesn't really feel like corner number 1. In my brain, corner number 3 feels more like a corner number 1 to me. This long straight. It's going to be a right-hander. Defensive line again, Adam, from Kabanka. They are Cialis bathtubs.
Oh,
they touch, they spin, they both spin out.
Oh, Christian's suspension's broken. Gotta look here at Junk. Junk still leads. Oh, Junk's straight damage too. Nope, pop back in place. Junk does not have suspension damage. Christian Kabenkia, it looks like it snapped back into place, but he lost a ton of time.
They were both able to spin ahead of Sauer, who races in 5th. Now look at this. There is Sauer. The car right behind him, that's Lukel. Janssen had to surrender that spot to Lukel because Jansen's really struggling. We have to be careful there. I think the leader's going to get the lead lap pretty soon. That's Crook and then Kabanka. We'll keep an eye on Kabanka, see if he can limp that car home for a 4th place finish. The points race is going to tighten up. Errol Num did exactly what he needed to do. It wasn't officially flag to flag, wire to wire because of the pit window, but basically that's about all you could do. Aaron Num with a 2.5-second lead over Burns. Adam Burns did what really he needed to do. If you can't beat him, at least follow behind him.
Right, and he had a really good chance after the pit stops, being right there, only to be held up by a lap vehicle, and saw that all the time he gained just disappear. But second place is still going to be a good finish for him. Yost Junk, I know a little bit of drama right there just a few minutes ago, but still, I mean, he was in a tough fight for that third position. As long as he can keep the car clean, looks like he's going to come home with the podium here as well.
Little by little, Sawyer is beginning to gain on Kabanka, but Kabanka doing a pretty good job of managing the gap. Looks like Kabanka's going to get that fourth. Tip the hat to Junk, who's going to get third. You got to figure Alex Johnson, after putting the car in the wall at least 2 times, maybe 3, is going to get sixth. Yeah. So we race around Num, sitting in, going through the fountain section right now. Burns, Junk, Sauer, and Janssen. Vincent Brame looks like he's going to get a 6th position. Not a lot of battles out there to cover, as our leader's going to make his way around. Don't count the dynasty over yet. Aaron Num, out of the final corner, does what he needed to do, picks up the penultimate round win here in Formula Neagle. David Burns does what he needs to do, comes home in second. The yellow and blue car of Junk gets third after an exciting battle with Kabanka. Adam, looks like Kabanka's going to be able to bring home a 4th.
Yeah, with Yost Junk still with that podium finish, and Christian, I mean, that one there, that was a tough one to see, but still a good finish. A little bit sour in 5th. Alex Janssen somehow, after his day, is going to bring this thing home in 6th with Vincent Brem at 7th. Here comes Andre Salander.
Brem is out of fuel.
Oh!
Can we look at the 25? He was in 7th position. He's not going to get it. He blinks away as the car ran out of fuel. A tough break for the 2 Stupid Dog driver. That allows Slander to vulture a position. Bambi picks one up. Looks like 18 cars on the lead lap. No battles yet to cover. So what we're going to do right now is take a short break, but don't go far. We'll be back to run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. You're watching the Global SimRacing Network channel. Back in a few. sanctioned by the Absolute Beginner League from the road course at Detroit. Welcome back to GSRC's Round 4 coverage of the Season 20 Formula Neagle Championship. The results are in. Let's give them to you now. The Roland Estonian Aero Num was on the pole. He gets the win and a lot of bonus points to boot. David Burns sits at the top of the point standings. He's going to lose a few, but maybe not enough. He's going to go in with a comfortable lead into this finale coming up in 2 weeks. Hughes Young had a great run from 8th to 3rd. Congratulations for the podium from him. Christian Kabanka put on a great show. Had a little contact with Young, but was able to salvage 4th position. Ludwig Sauer and Alex Janssen battled a lot. Sauer getting the best of that too. Vincent Breen, even though he ran out of fuel, they're still going to score him in 7th. Alex Salander in 8th position. Neil Bamber and Wojciech Podojek in 9th and 10th. Eric Blixt and Josh Brain in 11th and 12th, and I've gone too far. I was having so much fun. Let's turn it over to Adam. Sorry.
You're back. Hey, and I was going to say, Kabanka got on the radio a little while ago and said that he had a little bit of damage from brushing the wall earlier, and he thinks that might have been why he couldn't control it with Young in that contact. So that was maybe a little bit insight there. But Thomas Cake 13th, Neil Stevenson in 14th, Matt Tempest 15th, Timmy Nylander. We didn't talk about Timmy hardly at all here today. He came home 16th. Luis Lujan in 17th. Lee Anderson in 18th position after taking the faster pair after his early accident. 19th is going to go to Eric Luco. Christopher Crook in 20th.
We pride ourselves on trying to cover everybody, but again, Nylander, like Adam said, we didn't get a lot of coverage on him. 21st position, Elise Foychek in the blackjack spot, double duck spot, Christopher Garros. We saw a little bit of Christopher. Scott Angelo was in a battle with him. Simon Whidden. Frederick Neptune put on quite a show. He comes home in 25th. Michael Hilliard after that. Scott Dawkins, 28th, 29th, and 30th. Andy Saunders, Christian Perez, and Anton Bergstrom. Adam, pick up the rest.
All right, in the back part of the field, 31st, Neil Smith, Mikkel Hofdays in 32nd, Henrik Kamara in 33rd, Sebastian Schultz in 34th. Those guys, some of those guys' days ended in dramatic fashion.
Indeed. All right. Like I have done so many times before, I get an opportunity to talk to the Roland Estonian Aero Num. The chase for the championship is not over yet. Aero, I think this kind of track plays to your strength.
Yeah, I knew when and I don't get any internet problems, and if you keep it off the wall and you go for every corner, so it's really hard to keep up.
Yeah, when Anderson fell out in second and made a little gap for Burns, he was not going to get there. Pretty much wire to wire. What is the strategy this time? So often you pit early. This time we felt you were comfortable out there. You just run it and do it the normal way.
Yeah, because I had a little gap, and the gap was growing before the stop, and there was no traffic ahead, so yeah, I went as far as I can, but the pit stop, I put too much fuel. I lost like 3 seconds there, but at the end it worked out.
Well, got it. Order has been restored. Once again, Aero Num coming home first, still with the chance of the championship. Good luck in the season finale.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Aero Num. Adam, who you got?
Yeah, we'll grab David Third Degree Burns here. David, you consistently fast the first half of the race. Second half of the race, you come in, you get a pit stop. The pit stop's fantastic. You come out right behind Aero Num and then get trapped behind a lap car. Tell us about what happened right there.
I don't know about the fantastic pit stop. I'm guessing you didn't see it in the broadcast. I actually missed my pit box and had to reverse, so I wouldn't call it fantastic. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, you came out like you gained like 3 or 4 seconds still on everybody.
Yep. I think I've ever shifted into reverse and moved back so quick in all my life, but I don't know how. But Eero just told me afterwards that he mucked up his fuel stop, hence why he came out so close. And I don't know what happened to Christian in his fuel stop as well. But yeah, I thought I had a chance when I got Eero's draft, but the back markers, well, I mean, it's a hard track to let anyone pass on, so I can't blame them. So still a good finish.
It is, and of course now it puts you in a position to where next here 2 weeks it's going to be a dogfight now with Aero Num to try to come away with the championship. You guys are going to be in close to lockstep. So what are you going to be trying to do for next time out to try to come away with the crown?
Well, I mean, everyone likes to beat Eero because he's just so fast. But I may play the safer game because I think I need at least I don't think I could get away with P3. I think I have to get P2. So I'm just going to go for consistency, and if I can get him, I'll.
All right. Well, David, great run here today. I mean, hey, at least you finished in second. Got away with still a good points day, and we'll see you here in 2 weeks.
Cheers for that, guys. See you later.
David Burns, of course, has a championship on his record, but I said it before, every championship is great, but he did that in a season where Aeronum was not competitive, was not even competing. This one, it's got to mean a little bit more. He's going to beat Aeronum head-to-head if he can bring it home in that last race. That's going to do it for us here on the Global SimRacing Channel. What we're going to do now is thank all the people that made this possible, like the Absolute Beginner League for sponsoring Formula Neagle and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. Also, the company's equipment and software you see on the screen right now. The original music, well, that's courtesy of June Lalonde. See the screen for contact information. Formula Eagle returns in 2 weeks. That's May 24th. I believe it's going to be from Fulton Park. GSRC will be there. We hope you join us. On screen now are some of the upcoming broadcasts. Check those out. Mark them down on your calendar. You want more information about us? Well, there's globalsimracingchannel.com. Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Graham. And I forgot to mention, but usually we have live timing and scoring at GSRC.tv. You want to check that out. Hey, while you're here, if you haven't become a YouTube subscriber yet for GSRC, do that now by clicking that button. And hey, if you're looking for a gift for the person who has everything, we got a merchandise store, gsrc.storeenvy.com. That's 1E in Store Envy. Finally, on behalf of the entire crew, Adam, Sean, and Dougie, I'd like to thank all of you for watching as the Rolling Estonian Aeronum picks up his first win of the season here in Detroit. But that's it. We're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.